Hello, my beautiful yogis. So today's practice is all about relieving stress. So stress is actually a good thing in the short term, believe it or not. It makes us stronger, faster, more efficient, just better at thinking on our toes. But chronic stress, so stress that hangs around, if it doesn't resolve pretty quickly, it can lead to a whole host of issues. It produces inflammation and just can be really problematic for us both psychologically and physically, as I'm sure many of you are aware. So yoga is a fantastic way to de-stress because it allows you to get out of your head, out of your thoughts and back into your body. And by breaking these spirals of thinking and stressing and tension, it can just give you time to just restore. As well as that, breath work has been shown to take us physiologically from a stress response, so what you might know as a fight or flight response, back to a parasympathetic nervous system, triggering that. So that is what some people call rest and digest and or repair. And so that's where our heart rate slows down, our blood pressure reduces, and our body can function effectively, doing everything that it needs to do from day to day. It's a much better place to be, basically. So with all of that being said, let's de-stress. As always, if anything doesn't feel right for you today, if it hurts or just doesn't feel right, basically, then come out of that posture and make any changes you need. Yoga is going to look and feel different for everybody because we are all different and we all have different bodies. So practice listening to your own body because that's what yoga is all about. Okay, so grab yourself a drink bottle. If you've got one handy, a cushion, bolster, folded up blanket are great, but they're not essential for the practice, so don't worry if not. And I will see you back here on your mat. So we're going to start today lying on our backs. So you've got a couple of options here. You can have your legs straight out, just relaxed if you like, or you can place your feet on the mat with your knees facing up. This way is a bit nicer if you've got any tension in your lower back at all. So take your option, hop down on your back, and then place your hands on your belly with your fingertips facing in towards each other and just gently touching fingertips, just lightly kissing each other. And we're going to practice some abdominal breathing. So what you're going to do is breathe through your nose, and as you breathe in, you're going to focus on blowing up your belly like a balloon, and your fingertips come apart. And then as you exhale, you push all the air back out of your belly and the fingertips come back together. So let's give that a go. So inhale, pushing the air into your belly, blowing it up like a balloon, and then exhale, bringing those fingertips back together. And again, inhale, fingertips come apart. Exhale, fingertips draw back in together. And now just continue like that for a little while, just practicing this breathing. And so there's a few names for this type of breathing. Some call it abdominal breathing or belly breathing or diaphragmatic breathing. And what it's doing is bringing your breath from in your lungs down to your diaphragm. And if you've ever watched any animals or baby even really relaxed, like sleeping for example, you'll see their breath in their belly rather than their chest. However, for us as adults, often we breathe up high in our chest. And the reason we do that is because there's a lot of tension in our bodies and we can be stressed. So then we have this shallow, quick, high breathing up high. The issue with that is it becomes a vicious cycle. So when you do breathe up high into your lungs and you do have these shallow breaths, because that's what happens, then you create even more stress and more tension in your body, which then leads to shorter breaths and higher breaths and so on and so forth. By consciously doing this abdominal breathing, we're drawing the breath down. And there's some really good evidence benefits to doing this regularly. So we can see a reduction in stress through a reduction of the hormone cortisol, that when it's tested, and also a lower heart rate, a reduced blood pressure. This type of breathing is also really good for strengthening our core. So it's a great one to practice even daily if you can, or even a few times a day. You don't need to be laying down, it's just easier to begin with. You can do this sitting or standing. And if you practice daily, then those times that you really need it, it's a tool there to really help calm your body quite rapidly. And then obviously calming your mind, it follows from your body. Lovely. So let's slowly sit up into a comfortable seat of your choice. I always like to sit on the edge of a cushion or a bolster. Just helps with that relaxation because it's less work for your body to do. It gets you into alignment. So your hip flexors don't need to grip on. So with your hands down by your side and in your comfortable seat, let's practice continuing that abdominal breathing that we were doing, visualizing our fingers separating on the inhale and coming back together on the exhale as we move. So as you inhale, bring your shoulders up to your ears. And exhale, bringing them down and back, drawing your shoulder blades together. And inhale up. Exhale down and back. Inhale up. Exhale down and back. And now come to stillness. Inhale. As you exhale, draw your right ear to your right shoulder. And just breathe here for a moment. And exhale as you move across to the other side. Left ear to left shoulder. Feeling the nice stretch through the side of your neck. If you have any issues with your shoulders, just continue to do that from on one side and the other again. Otherwise, place your fingertips on your shoulders and again, teeing up the breath and movement. As you inhale, draw circles upwards with your elbows. And then exhale back down. Making some big circles with those elbows and coming the other way. Beautiful. Now, if you haven't already, open your eyes slowly. Now you stay where you are. I'm just going to switch to the side so you can see what I'm doing. But from your seat, just bring your feet out, legs out in front with a slight bend in your knee, and just have your feet hip width apart and just press down into the soles of your feet. Then imagine there's a string coming out the middle of the top of your head and someone's pulling it. So you get a nice long spine. And we're going to try and keep that spine the whole way through this. So this is Dandasana at the moment. Straight down by your sides with your palms towards the floor or pressing on the floor. So from Dandasana here, going to breathe in, stretch up high and tall. And exhale, folding from your hips, keeping those knees bent and back long. Just let your hands fall wherever they are. Might be your shins, could be your ankles, could be your feet. If it's your feet, feel free to grab your big toes and just focus on keeping that spine long rather than folding forwards. Nice long spine, letting the energy move up and down. And then looking down at your legs and breathing here. Now, if you like, you're welcome to straighten your legs out a little, but you're also very welcome to keep those knees bent. The priority is having a nice long spine. And you may feel as you breathe in and your belly comes out that it presses into the tops of your thighs, giving you a really lovely massage through all your digestive system. All right, so if you are sitting up on something, just move that to the side. From here, place your feet flat on the mat and your palms slightly behind you with your fingers facing back towards you. Now you might like to practice here, so practice pressing down into the mat through your hands and your feet and lifting up through that center. This is a really strong pose and posture to work on. If you're comfortable there, you might like to come into reverse tabletop. So inhaling here, and as you exhale, really pressing down firmly through your feet and your hands into the mat to come up into a reverse tabletop, looking up at the ceiling, pressing, open chest, breathing. And on the next exhale, lowering back down to the mat. Beautiful. So we're going to come around now to our downward facing dog. So start with your knees under your hips and your hands just slightly in front of where your shoulders are. Hands nice and comfortably, fingers spread nice and comfortably wide, pressing into all four corners, especially the knuckle of that pointer finger. From here, you're going to tuck your toes and with your knees staying bent, push up into downward facing dog. So especially for this first one, feel free to walk your legs out a bit by pushing one heel down into the mat and then the other. But really focus here on pressing through your hands evenly before coming to stillness. Inhaling deeply and exhaling completely with that abdominal breathing. Beautiful. So on your next exhale, bend your right knee, and then on your inhale, swoop your left leg up into three-legged dog. As you exhale, bend that knee, lifting through the body as you come forward, shoulders over wrists, and then stepping through. Now, doesn't matter how you get there. So if you only come to here and you need to walk it up, that's absolutely fine. We'll meet you with your foot at the top of the mat. Lower that back leg and then heel toe your foot over to the opposite side of the mat and lower your knee to come down into pigeon. Now, drawing your foot in towards your body makes this posture less intense. And you may even like to put a block or a pillow or a cushion under that glute just to bring the floor to you a bit. Look behind you and just make sure your leg and your foot are going straight out from your body. And then breathe. Starting up here. And you may like to stay here like this, or you might like to come down onto your forearms. You might like to stack your fists and rest your forehead there, or have your fists flat on the ground and rest there. Whichever option you decide today, then focus on that abdominal breathing in this new position. As you inhale, belly blows up like the balloon, and as you exhale, push all the air back out. A beautiful hip opener and glute stretch. Beautiful. And then slowly making your way back up to meet everyone up high, chest open. Then you're going to tuck your back leg, and tuck your back toes, I should say. Press up off the mat and then step back down into our downward facing dog. And just breathe here for a moment. Don't think about what's coming next. Just be right here, focusing on pressing through with all four corners of your hands into the mat. Beautiful. Your next exhale, bend your left knee some more, and then inhale your right leg up to three-legged dog. As you exhale, tucking it up and shifting your body weight forwards, and then stepping through into a lunge. Lower your back leg, and then heel toe, heel toe, heel toe that front foot to the opposite side of the mat to lower the knee. Now remember, if that's a bit intense, draw that foot back in closer to your body, and you can always add a block or cushion to that side. Check that your foot and your leg are heading straight out, and then breathe here. Chest open, looking forwards. And then take your option. Stay like that, or rest your head down on your hands. And some people find that hip openers can make them feel a bit emotional. So if you find that happens to you, just know it's completely normal. We store a lot of tension in our bodies, and sometimes when we finally release that, it can lead to us feeling certain emotions. It's not just a mind-body connection, it's also the body-mind connection. It's a loop. Lovely. So then coming back up slowly, rolling over onto that glute, and then swinging to come around to sitting on your sit bones, aka your butt bones. Okay, so from here, you're going to draw your right foot in, so your knee is pointing forwards and your foot is right next to your glute. Now, you've got some options here. What I want you to focus on is that both glutes are pressing down into the mat. Try out these options, and if you find that one of your sits bones comes up off the mat, or it's really not really, you're leaning to the side, then go back and take the other one. So you can start with your left foot out wide. You can bring your left foot so it's right next to the knee, or you can put it over the top of your knee. If you're doing that and your foot's flat on the mat but your sit bone is coming up off, then just take it back to one of these options. So work with where you're at today and on that side. From here, you're going to inhale, reach up tall, and as you exhale, twist to the left, hooking your arm around that knee as you go. Inhale to grow tall. Remember that string growing tall from your center. And then exhale to twist some more. As you twist, picture all of your stress and tension being wrung out like water out of a sponge. Inhale to lift. Exhale to twist, wringing all that stress out. And continue like that for a moment. Lovely. And then slowly untwist yourself, and let's take it to the other side. So left leg, knee pointing forwards, foot coming right in next to your glute, and then take your option here, remembering our focus is having both sit bones really grounded, really connected to the mat. Breathe in, reach up, grow tall, and then exhale to twist. Breathe in, lengthen, exhale, twist. Wringing out any tension in our bodies on this side. Check to see if you're still doing that abdominal breathing. And come and meet back in the center, untwisting again. So moving into child's pose now for our last posture for the day. So bring your big toes to touch and have your knees spread as wide as the mat. Then press back so your sit bones are towards your heels and walk your hands forward until your head touches the mat. Now, if it doesn't quite reach, that's fine. Just grab your cushion or whatever you have available and you can just rest your head there. Even if your head does reach, it might just feel nice to do that anyway. Otherwise, forehead to the mat, arms out in front. You might like to just roll the area on your forehead just above your eyebrows into the mat, into the ground to get a lovely massage and just release any tension through there using the ground. Now, it's probably going to work a bit better if you've got a hard floor compared to carpet, but it can still do the trick. And then coming to stillness. Lovely. Slowly come up. And we're just going to make our way down to Shavasana. If you have any tension in your lower back, it might feel nice to put a cushion under your knees when you lay down for this. Slowly laying down, hands out by your side, palms facing up, and your legs super relaxed, just splaying out to the sides. And coming back to this abdominal breathing. So you can have your hands there if you want, or you can visualize when you breathe in, fingers coming apart. When you breathe out, coming back together. And I'm going to count you now for a few breaths. As we move into relaxation, we're going to lengthen the exhale. And this is another really cool trick if you need to get rid of stress and anxiety quite quickly. Lengthening the exhale activates our parasympathetic nervous system. So it again takes us into that rest digest state. So finish your next exhale, get all the air out, and then I'll count us in. So then inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So continue like this for as long as you have available to you, working on that abdominal breathing and the long exhale. When you are done, just roll over onto your side for a moment first, keeping your eyes closed, and then slowly press up into a comfortable seated position before getting up and on with your day. Just take your time coming out of it so you stay nice and relaxed. So I hope that you enjoyed today's practice and that you've taken some things here that you can use to de-stress super fast. So we've got the abdominal breathing, lengthening the exhalation. These things are great to practice whenever you think about it. Even before bed, it doesn't hurt to relax before you try and go to sleep. But the more you practice this, then it's just a great tool that you have, so you can feel confident that if you ever need it, you can pull yourself back in to being in a relaxed state, physically and psychologically. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon on the mat. Namaste.